Mermaids at Disneyland waving to guests on a submarine ride, 1960s. A Canadian workman inspects munitions to be used by the British, 1942. A car crash in 1921. A man wearing a Pierre Trudeau mask protests against the Canadian government's national energy program, which strengthened federal control over Alberta's oil resources, in front of the Alberta Legislature building, Edmonton, 1980. This guy is pretty lucky, Panama City Beach, 1982. A man from France tastes Coca-Cola in the 1950s for the first time, Paris. A physics teacher on his first day on the job. British home children learning haymaking before leaving for Canada, where they would become agricultural workers. Liverpool, England, 1929. Brennan Farmhouse, West 84th Street and Broadway. Burlington Mayor Bernie Sanders picks up trash on his own in a public park after being elected in 1981, his first electoral victory. Cat in the Trenches, 1940s. The U.S. Navy's Squadron of Evolution, 1889 at anchor. Ships include the protected cruiser U.S. Chicago, flagship in left foreground. Astronover from left to right is the gunboat U.S. Yorktown, the protected cruiser U.S. Boston, and the protected cruiser U.S. Atlanta. Before he was Morpheus, he was Cowboy Curtis on Pee-wee's Playhouse, 1986. Bombed out Staniszewski Circus building in Warsaw, Poland after German air raid. It was never rebuilt and no trace remains of it. Poland, September 1939. Dolly Parton in the 70s offstage, relaxed and looking simply angelic. Georges Méliès, director of the iconic A Trip to the Moon / Le Voyage dans la Lune, 1902, standing next to his toy shop at Gare Montparnasse, Paris, 1925. 12-year-old budding actor Christopher Walken making pie crust in his father's bakery. In 1965, Dervla Murphy journeyed alone from her native Ireland to India on a bicycle, armed with little more than a pistol, a notebook, and a compass. This guy taking a selfie, using a piece of wood to activate the shutter, circa 1957. Spanish Army non-commissioned officers, most of them corporals with antiquated weaponry, on the head beach of Sidi Ifni, Kingdom of Morocco, after having disembarked from Spanish Navy ships, 1957. A Royal Air Force pilot getting a haircut in a break between missions during the Battle of Britain, 1940. A surgeon feeding a cat through a medicine dropper, 1952. A weightlifter holding the milkman over his head, 1947. Atomic Annie fires a 280mm artillery-fired atomic projectile, called Grable, as part of the wider Operation Upshot Naphol nuclear tests, 11 tests in all. It was the first artillery-delivered nuclear projectile, 1953. Women railway workers, 1918. Marilyn Monroe visiting injured troops in Japan in 1954. This poor guy had a broken back and had to heal face down. Necklines on dresses in 1950s. a column of captive Jews marched down the main thoroughfare during the liquidation of the Krakow ghetto. SS guards oversee the deportation action to the extermination camps. March 1943. Finnish troops evacuate a wounded Soviet soldier across a stream. Summer 1944. Jack Briscoe, first Native American to win a National Collegiate Athletic Association wrestling championship. Only Native American to win the National Wrestling Alliance World Heavyweight Championship, 1973. French woman pouring tea for a British soldier fighting in Normandy, 1944. This historical photo, looking northward from 45th Street, shows the classic bright lights of Times Square in 1921, an ongoing illumination of the city since the first electrified advertisement in 1904. Conan O'Brien engages in fisticuffs in front of the Harvard Lampoon Castle, 1984. SkyTrain, the new rapid transit of Metro Vancouver, arrives at the Expo 86 Centre. Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, 1986. Hot dog stand in North End, Boston, 1937. Sadegh, Western-educated anti-Shah politician responsible for Islamification policies of Iranian state media, serving as personal aide to Ayatollah Khomeini and accompanying him on his Air France flight to Iran. 3 years later, Khomeini had him executed. France, 1979. This is what hanging out in a college dorm room looked like in 1910. Thousands of workers leave a shipyard after work. In the background, the Titanic can be seen under construction, circa 1911. Arnold Schwarzenegger and two training partners in Venice Beach, early 70s. The original Drifters Reef Bar, built near the harbor area of Wake Island, opened its doors to aircrews, visitors and other drifters on November 8, 1949. Photo Waldo Fuller, 8 November 1950. Volkswagen Type 2 production at Wolfsburg.